Welcome back to another segment of The Real with Rena. If this is your first time joining, welcome home. I'm Sharina Branch and I am Rena and I'm going to be your host. And if you have been rocking with me for quite some time, thank you. You all know that this is about the space where we have real conversations and real solutions, and it just focuses all on real life. So, today's episode is a little bit different. And you may say, how so? Well, today I don't have a guest speaker. And usually we try to have someone on to share information with us, but that was intentional for today. A lot of times we're bombarded with information experts, and there's nothing wrong with those things. They all have their time and place. However, sometimes we just need someone to sit down with us and to just talk to us and just engage with us and say, you know what? It's going to be okay. Sometimes that reassurance is needed, and that's okay. And that's exactly what we're doing today. No experts, no interviews, just us. Right? Is that all right? Okay, awesome. So, I just want to let you all know something really quickly and listen to me closely. You're doing better than you think. And you may agree to disagree, and that's okay. But with the economy prices rising, you have life just lifing. And the way that it's been doing lately, it is really 2026 has really came in with a storm. But I know that this causes a lot of people to feel pressure, right? So today's conversation is centered around anyone who's trying to manage what they have. They're managing their finances in a season where it just seemed like it is just truly difficult, right? Everything feels more expensive. Everything is expensive, right? And before we talk about tips and strategies today, let me say this: you're not behind, okay? I know a lot of times we see social media news and all these things like that, and we feel like, oh, we're so behind, but you're not behind, right? You're navigating, and that's what we're all doing in this season. We're navigating, right? And there is a difference because if you think about it, the prices are up, groceries are up, bills are up, but the income hasn't always caught up the same way, right? So if you felt stretched or discouraged or tired financially, that doesn't mean that you failed. We hear you, we see you, and we're here to support you any way that you can. We're human. We're going to go through those things and we're going to have those feelings. But one thing for me, I don't want you to ever feel ashamed around money. Okay. Shame keeps you stuck because you don't want to talk about it, right? But grace helps you grow. And that's what this platform is all about, is helping you grow. Sometimes it's not even about what you're always doing wrong. Okay. So don't beat yourself up about that. We don't want to go that route of you beating yourself up because that can keep you stuck as well. Okay. That'll keep you in that rut, that pity party. And we want you to become free. Right. So, a hard environment, what does that mean? That just simply means that it's time for us to do a call for strategy, right? Not self blame, not beating yourself up and staying stuck in that pity party. All right. So instead of beating ourselves up, this is the time that we seek to get wiser, right? We get more intentional about what it is that we're doing and we move a little bit differently, right? Right. So this is something that I talk about a lot. And if you ever attended my sessions before, you hear me say this all the time: mind, mouth, and money. And they're all connected, believe it or not, right? Because if you think about it on a daily basis, how do you feel? Overwhelmed sometimes, right? And if you're overwhelmed, sometimes that will cause you to begin speaking things out of your mouth when you feel overwhelmed, right? You begin speaking fear, you begin speaking doubt, and things of that nature. And guess what? Decisions that you're going to begin making affecting your money is going to follow the same what you're speaking, right? But when your mind is clear, when you feel like you're in a better place mentally, your mouth speaks life, right? Your money starts to move with purpose because now your decisions and things are clearer as to where you want your money to go, right? So, loving your finances is not about being perfect. And sometimes we feel like we have to have it all together. We have to be perfect, but we don't. Like I said, it's about being intentional, right? We want to be intentional about it. And it's about being present, intentional and being present. What do you mean? So, what we have to start doing is paying attention without judgment. Look at those accounts, right? Without fear. Okay. I know sometimes when things feel overwhelming, we're like, yeah, whatever. We throw our hands up and we feel like it is what it is. It's just going to be what it's just going to be. But no, we're all about intention this year. We're all about purpose. Pull those accounts up, see what we're working with. Okay. See what was going out and, of course, what's coming in. Right. And then once we do that, set boundaries and then speak grace over yourself. Stop saying things like, I'm broke. I'm bad with money. I will never get ahead. This is the way that it's always been, and this is the way that it's all gonna be, always going to be. No, your words matter. Your words matter and they carry weight, right? Try turning those things into something different. I'm learning. All right. Grant yourself some grace. I'm improving. I'm becoming more disciplined, right? Because whether you realize it or not, small steps taken consistently, got to be consistent. That is what's going to help move you in the right direction, right? So let me share something with you all, a little personal, right? I have a little my notes because I would talk and talk and I love to talk about these things, but I also want to be mindful of your time and the time that we have here together, right? So let me share something personal with you. All right. Not too long ago, years ago now, I had my heart to participate in a 5K. All right. Now, you may say, a 5K? Yes, I have never participated in a 5K, right? This was years ago. But in my mind, I felt like this is too much. This is overwhelming. I'm not going to be able to do this. I'm not going to be able to make it. What if I pass out? All this fear was bombarding my mind before I even got started, right? So I was defeating myself before I even moved forward. And sometimes that's what we do, sometimes with our money. We defeat ourselves before we even get started, right? So let's get the mind together, right? I know you all have heard of that saying where um, if you think you can, you're right. If you think you can't, you're right also. And I'm paraphrasing it really, really quickly. But basically, what that is saying is this: whatever you think, that's true, right? Whether you think you can or whether you think you can't, that is true. So we have to be careful of our mind. We have to be careful of the thoughts that we have because eventually it's going to come out in our actions, right? All right. So getting back to this 5K, I was already like defeating myself before I even looked into what the 5K was all about. And then when I looked into what the 5K was about, I was like, let me look it up and see. And I was like, oh, that's all. That's how far it is. I'm like, girl, you sitting here getting all in a tizzy about something that is doable, right? It is possible. So we have to remember that whatever it is that we want to attain, whether that's financially, whether that's professionally, whether that's personally, look into it, right? And it is attainable, right? It is attainable, right? So I inquired about it. It wasn't that long, and then I realized if it was something that I really wanted, then my actions got to line up with it. Amen. So that means I had to start doing things a little bit differently, right? I did contact a personal trainer. Now, I didn't, go every day to the personal trainer, but I did go periodically. And the idea was, hey, make sure you're moving. Make sure you're moving every single day, right? 30 minutes of movement is very, very important. I said, okay, I can do that. Now, for those of you that know me, I'm a sweet lover. I love sweets. I love some cake, some cookies, some candy. And I said, okay, I need to cut back a little bit. right? So I started making some changes, started cutting back on my sugar intake, started taking in more water and things like that. And I started moving every single day. Those small changes in my life began to build me up to the point where I could participate in the 5K when it came around. And needless to say, I did participate in a 5K. Now I didn't run the whole thing. I'm go ahead and be honest. I didn't run it. I ran some, a good portion of it, and I walked some, but I did it, right? I did it and I took small, consistent steps to move toward the goal that I wanted to obtain. And you can too. And actually, I've been participating in the 5Ks probably, I think, maybe my fourth year, if I'm not mistaken. So if I can do it, you can do it too. You can do it too. So I just wanted to encourage you because money is the same way. And we feel like a lot of times with money, it just can't be done. But yes, it can. It can be done, right? Don't ever look at it, your finances, and say, this is too much. I'll never catch up. It's impossible. When you slow down, because sometimes that's what we have to do, slow down, get a plan, ask for help. Now, sometimes that's something that we don't want to do. We don't want to ask for help sometimes because we feel like, I don't want them in my business. Okay. Been there, done that. Okay. Been there, done that. But asking for help is not a sign of weakness. That's a sign of strength, right? Because how you going to get, if you're in the ditch, and this is just an example, if you're in the ditch, it's hard for you and somebody else that's in the ditch to help you get out the ditch, right? So, asking for help for someone to pull you out the ditch is not a sign of weakness. It's a sign of strength because you're saying, I don't want to be in this situation anymore, right? And I'm willing to get out of my comfort zone, do what I need to do to move forward. And that's what we want. We want forward moving, consistent, small, forward moving. Right. So it's not about doing everything at one time. Because let me tell you this with that 5K, it was not me doing everything at one time. Okay. It was a gradual process for me. And did I have cheat days and stuff? Yes, I did. But it was gradual, it was consistent, it was small, but it was a change that helped me for my future self. Right. All right. So let's talk about the next step. The next step is looking at one bill, one habit, one boundary, and one better decision, right? We're not trying to overwhelm ourselves. We overwhelm enough, but the power of one, right, is a lot. That's how you win with one decision. And let me make this practical for you, right? Because a lot of times when we think about our money, look, don't mess with me and my money. you know, Especially when my money is funny, like get back, right? But saving money, when somebody says that, is like, how am I going to save money? How am I going to do this? It don't have to be complicated at all. It's not complicated. Sometimes it's just deciding to make a better decision with what you're already doing or doing something a tad bit different than what you're already doing. So, example, if you're cooking dinner, maybe cook a little bit more. That way I can pack that for lunch tomorrow, you know, or I'll just take my lunch with me, right? We're already paying bills, right? So if you're already paying bills, round them up and send a little extra. Maybe round it up to the next five, the next $10 or what have you. Okay. Put a little extra towards that bill. If you're already shopping, which I know, I've been shopping, guilty, guilty, but we're already shopping. A lot of times with these shopping, you get rewards, you get points. Utilize those. Let them build up for you. I know there's an app. We get gas. There's apps where you can get so much off of your gas per gallon, or every time you get gas at certain gas stations, it puts money aside for you, right? Whether it's $1 or $2, we get gas anyway. Look at things that you're doing already anyway and see how can I do this continually and it benefit me. Okay, that's what we have to look at because everybody is different, right? Everybody does something different and everybody pattern and lifestyle is different. but how can what I'm doing benefit me? All right, good. Another thing that we can look at doing is cancel one subscription. Now, if you like me, sometimes we be like, "Ooh, it's a free trial. Let me try this. I'm gonna try, it, and then I'm gonna set me a reminder to cancel it right before um, the trial ends, right?" But sometimes I may swipe it and just forget, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, who is this taking, $65 out of my account?" And I be like, "That was a subscription that I forgot all about, and money is constantly going to them. I'm not even using the services, right?" And sometimes you may be using the services, but it's like, is that something that I got to have right now? Cancel one subscription. Look at your subscriptions and take the step and cancel it. Sometimes I guarantee you probably forgot that you had it, right? Combine errands and save gas. Now, for those of you that may live out in the county and different places like that, for me, when I make a trip, I'm going in, doing what I got to do. If I stay most of the day, doing the work day, and then I'm going to come home. I'm not going to be going back and forth, making 2 to 3 to 4 trips. I'm not going to do that because I want to make sure that I'm getting the best use out of my gas. Right now, here's another thing, because this is me too. Every time you say no to something unnecessary, move that money into savings. There have been plenty of times my fingers go to type Amazon.com, Shein or Sheen or however, Temu. I'm just going to look, da, 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 put it in my cart. And I'd be like, no, do you really even need that right now? Like, no. So that 5, that 10, that $15 that I was about to get, whatever I was going to get, put it aside. Right. And you may say, well, I put it aside, Sharena, but I end up pulling it right back over. Well, then that sounds like to me, you need to put it into an online account. There are banks out there that are online. Um, that way, when you move money over there to it, it's not easy for you to access it and to pull it back over as it would if you're banking with a local bank and you can kind of do the transfers right there online. Put it in a separate account somewhere, a savings account, online savings account elsewhere where you cannot really touch it, right? And chunk that money over there. Didn't go to Starbucks today. Okay, let me put that $7 or whatever it is over there. You didn't go out and get that outfit. You decide to wear something that you already had, chunk that money over into that savings. Okay. So you're not just saying no, you're saying yes to your future. And before we wrap up, I want you to reflect a second on these things. Listen carefully. Where have you felt discouraged financially? Not because you weren't trying, but sometimes because of the economy and things around you. Give yourself grace. Give yourself grace. You're still here. You're still showing up, and that counts for something. Okay. And family, if you want to continue this conversation in person, we do have an event that's scheduled for Saturday, February the 7th at 10 a.m. to 12. Now, listen, that is if weather is permitting, because y'all know how our weather has been here lately in North Carolina. They are talking about some more upcoming inclement weather with little to no accumulation, but some parts of North Carolina, we still have what we had from the time before. So this event is weather permitting. And if you want to stay up to date on the events that we have, follow our Facebook page at Branch and Associates, and you'll be able to stay up to date, and we'll let you know if the event will be going forward on this weekend. And we do have 2 professionals that's going to be coming in and that's going to be talking to us even further about loving our finances in a challenging economy and some other things that we can do to help us love that place where we are with our money, right? Love what we are with our money. Please know that you don't have to do this alone. Okay. You don't. We're here to be a support to you in any way that we possibly can. I just want to thank you for taking the time to spend with me today. And as always, when you're ready to branch out, just give me a call. Have an amazing day. and be blessed.